Hey everyone, welcome back to My Mind. It's Danielle. It's been a bit. One thing, I ran out of space on my phone, so I had to sign up for extra space and fix that whole rigmarole. So that was the main reason why I haven't recorded, and I've just been doing stuff. But I'm back, and I am here to continue the story about my college experience. From what I can remember, I know the camera fell, and I was in the middle of like a sentence talking about how I finally had the courage to go get help, and I realized something was significantly off. I was actually asking my old roommate from the time and one of my current best friends still, and she said she remembers that sophomore year, and maybe even junior year, no, sophomore year, because we lived in the other house, I would always lock myself in my room. I don't know if I locked the door, but I closed the door a lot. And personally, I just know that I was doing so many things inside of my head, rituals and prayers and things to be said and retractions of mean thoughts. And then I would do that over and over and over, that sometimes it would take so long, and I didn't want anybody to see me it'd be and sometimes it would come out like I was talking to myself out loud. And so that's the reason I would close my door a lot. And it was crazy because my friend thought that I fixated on certain things, how do I explain it? Not having a boyfriend, or maybe being invited somewhere or not being invited somewhere. But she didn't realize how much I did in my head ritualistically, and how that consumed my time. And so the first time I got help, I went to the resource center at my college, and I went to a big college, so I went to the resource center, and I remember going through a few people there, and I remember a really bad experience, to be honest with you. And it just wasn't deep enough into the knowledge of the first person I saw made me feel silly. And you never want to go to therapy feeling silly for opening up. And it just showed that specific therapist just had no education in what I needed. It was way too involved for her. I don't even remember a lot of details, but I remember feeling shitty after I left there. And so then I went to a private sector, and I got some help. But the thing is, I always remember getting the help and kind of starting the process of cognitive behavioral therapy, or that and exposure response therapy, ERT. But I never practiced it on my own. I never accepted it. I never did anything about it. I would just go to therapy and feel better talking about it and letting someone know that I had an issue. So I just want to share. So I actually went and got upstairs and went and found a lot of my old journals, and it sucks because a lot of them are post-college, because things got worse and worse post-college. But this one is in March of 2012, and that's my senior year of college. And this March of 2012, during the fall of 2011, is when I went to Costa Rica and had one of the best experiences of my life, and found somewhere that I connect with and was able to allow me to slow down and allow me to appreciate a lot more of life's beauty, of people, of culture. But I was reading through my journal of Costa Rica, and I realized that I still had OCD in it. I talked about it a lot, but I think I was just so distracted by all the other excitement from learning a new language, from living with a family, to traveling every weekend, to surfing, that it was easy to push aside. But I definitely talked about it in my journal entries. Here's an example. I was here, wait. I said, I'm talking about something. That is one of the goals I have for myself out here. I want to be happy, and even without OCD and without a boy. So that's it. I mean, just like a comment like that. I want to be happy with OCD, without OCD. I don't know if I considered it like a thing. I just always like knew I wanted to be happy without it. I'm trying to find another entry before I read this other really deep one. Okay, sorry guys. So, oh, here. No, that's not really good. I remember seeing, or when I read this, I see things that I know now that are like cues of like me trying to get confirmation from someone, or ask questions, or apologize because I felt like I wasn't doing something right. And if I wasn't doing something right, then I was going to hurt someone, or that person was going to die. So I'd be like, I just had to get that off my chest. But realistically, I know that's selfish, so I apologize. Like stuff like that. Like, those are just a couple of examples. Okay, so I'm gonna go, oh, here, I wrote this on Monday, October 10th, 2011. I was talking about different foods I liked. I was making it in a list, and I said, I'm trying to be positive lately. What kind of? Screw OCD, but sometimes I feel guilty for doing that. So it's like, I'm trying to just say like, fuck OCD, and then I feel guilty for even saying that because I'm being rude to someone who's not even real. Like, that was the sort of thing that I struggled with. I always suffered with a guilt portion of like accepting my OCD, and I never like let it just be. I always felt guilty for letting it be, if that makes sense. So this, back to March 7th. Anyway, that was like just some examples of how I still lived my life and I had really great experiences. I just was constantly bombarded with thoughts. So it made it hard. So March 7th, 2012, this is a random journal entry back from Costa Rica for a few months now. I just remembered I still have this journal, so I'm gonna, okay, blah, blah, blah. Tonight, actually, the past couple of months, my OCD has been really stressing me out, sad-faced. I just absolutely hate that I get so wrapped up into my compulsive thoughts. The thoughts are truly scary and related to my mom dying. That was so hard for me even to write. Obviously, I do not want something like that to happen to my mom, and for the life of me, I have been not able to contain these thoughts, more like ignore these thoughts and separate them from who I am, what I think, and my thoughts, aside from my disorder. So this is like me starting to realize, I think, the beginning of how much thoughts inside my head consumed me. So I said, I've accepted OCD. I know I have it, but I just can't jump the hurdle of letting my OCD just be there. I fight it day in and day out. Why can't I just ignore these thoughts? So then I get into talking about a lot of like the really bizarre symptoms, compulsions I do. And so with learning about OCD, when people have compulsions, it rains, the compulsions are so broad. And so mine were a lot